Hey, welcome back to PQF Academy. Um, I want to say once again, congratulations to Mama Bird 52. You were the winner for the 1,000 subscribers giveaway of my medium city tote bag. Um, like I had said before, that is version one, so you won't receive that one. You're receiving version two, so you have to give me a little bit of time to create the bag. I also think that I'm going to do. I think I might do a giveaway every 500 subscribers instead of every 1,000 now. So how we got to 500, I gave the mini away. We got to 1,000, I gave the I'm giving the I gave the mini away. I'm giving the I'm sorry, my medium away. And then so once we get to 1,500 subscribers, I'm gonna do another drawing. Um, so so if you can, guys, like, subscribe, share the video with people that you think that wants to learn how to make handbags. Also want to learn how to, if you want to start this and create this and make this a business, how you can do so, and also how financial literacy can play into sewing also. So that's what you're going to be learning here on this channel, like I always continuously say. So once again, if you like the video, like, subscribe, share the video. Also, if you make any of the bags, I am going to have my email inside of the description, which is going to be pqfacademy@gmail.com. So that's pqfacademy@gmail.com. Send it over to me. I would love to display it on the next video or something, and showcase your work. I would love to see your work. I would love to see the bags that you're creating. Okay? Um, so let's go ahead and get started. So on Monday, we created this pattern. The reason why we created a pattern, like I told you on Monday, we weren't supposed to create the pattern because we were supposed to be doing another bag, but I'm new to the YouTube thing, so the video thing I'm kind of new to, and the way I wanted to do the video and showing you how to do the manufacturing method, I wasn't able to do it. Like, I want to be on this. I want you to see me on the screen, but at the same time, me working inside the screen, and you can actually see me and hear me do it in real time. But unfortunately, I don't know how to do that just yet. I tried using Zoom, and I didn't like the way it turned out. So we created a pattern. So we created this pattern right here. Now this pattern is going off of kind of the big bag we were supposed to make, and then the small bag we made, and now we're making this, and we're enlarging this a little bit to make it to almost a tablet or something can fit into it. Or if you want to go, excuse me, if you want to go on like a vacation or something, you'll have something to be able to carry around, like your passport and things of that nature. Okay, and on top of that, it's going to be close to you. So we're gonna do some things to it. All right. So we created this pattern, our main body, which is our main body pattern, which is your exterior. You're gonna cut two out of your exterior. You're gonna cut two lining. Also, we created the flap. You're gonna cut a exterior and a lining. You're only gonna cut one of each. Okay. We also have our tab that we made for our big bag. So a lot of these patterns that we're making, they're going to be interchangeable, that you can actually see, that you don't have to make a new pattern every single time, especially if you're going to use certain tabs and things of that nature. Just like we used our one of our straps. I think it was the strap from the very first one we made, or maybe the second one. I'm not really sure. I forget. But we're using this. So this one's a 3x25. And we cut this on the fold because we want it to be at least 50 to 54, depending on how tall you are or whatever. 50 to 54 inches, okay? So, but what we're also going to do, sorry. So I have a zipper. We're gonna be putting a zipper on here. So when we created the bag from this point to this point, it was 10 inches. So this right here is about I think it's 9 inches. So when we cut this zipper, we want to, if your zipper's too long or it's too big or something of that nature, we're going to cut it to 9 inches. Okay. And we're going to put it onto the bag. And When we put the tabs on, that's going to keep the bag into place and things like that. Just like how we did the last bag. How the tabs are basically on the zipper itself. Okay. So I also told you guys to go ahead and get some webbing, right? Because we're gonna need about the same measurements of your excuse me, the same measurements of your fabric is gonna be the same measurements of the webbing. Well, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna put this fabric onto the webbing. Also, some of you guys may know how to do that already, but some of you guys that don't, we're gonna do that. I'm also going to be using some more hardware. I'm going to be using my rivets today. I'm going to be using some rings. You can either use an O-ring or a D-ring, completely up to you. We're also going to be using some clamps because I want my strap, because the way we're making this strap, you can also make tons other more straps that go onto that bag if you want to. So if you wanted to change it out, you would be able to. So we're going to be using some hooks, or some clamps, sorry. Also, today we are going to be learning how to use and put on the turn lock. All right, we're going to learn how to put this on. But if you don't feel comfortable after learning it and you still don't, we're going to revisit that too, also the turn lock. But if you don't feel comfortable doing it, we've learned how to put on the magnetic snap, so you can use that too, all right, for this bag. We're also going to be using a slider, or a belt buckle, or however you want to call it, a belt buckle slider. They do come in different types. I'm not using this one. I like this one a little bit better for the bag, for this type of bag. That one's more decorative. I don't really want it to be too decorative, but they do have these that come in any type of color. They can also come in metal also. So I've already cut out my pattern already. So I have my two tabs. I have my pocket. I mean, not my pocket, sorry. I have my flap, my lining flap, and my exterior flap. I also have my exterior body, and I also have my lining bottom, not exterior, sorry, my lining and my exterior. Okay. I am going to be putting a decorative type element onto this bag. I probably won't show you guys how to do that, but you will see that. So if you do see it, you're going to be like, oh, wait, how'd you do that? We'll figure out. I'll show you how to do that later on down the line, okay? But what we're going to do first, because I believe everybody knows how to do just about everything else, what we're going to do first is we are going to do the flap first. So I haven't showed you guys how to make a flap, so we are going to make this flap. So let's go ahead and get started and get over to the sewing machine. Okay, so we're over here at the sewing machine. Typically you would pin this together. Me, I don't really too much like pinning. Whatever seam allowance you decide that you want to use, you can go ahead and use it. That's how this pattern is made and is created, for whatever seam allowance you want. Me, I like to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to stitch all the way around. So you do have somewhat of a curved edge. So you go ahead, and I'm going to show you how to be able to do that. And kind of not mess up. Some people like to go ahead and draw their seam allowance so they can actually stitch on that line. That's something you can do also, but I don't. So let's go ahead and get started. Back stitch. One of the great things about having one of these is that it's so easy to be able to follow, right? And what I mean by that, I'm going to take it slow and just go ahead and go around the bend. Keep that close to this. And do the exact same thing with the others. Just slowly do it, just slowly, and moving it at the same time. Keeping it straight. All right, so we did the flap. So now that I have it sewn up, right, what I like to do, I like to go ahead and cut off some of this bulk. So I would go ahead and, you know, get as closest to the line as possible. Same thing around the corner. Okay. Now, I should have said this. Hopefully nobody did it, but if you, we do have this opening right here, okay? We have, so if you seen me sew, I only sewed around here, so made a U shape, and that was it. I didn't close this up, all right? So once again, we do not close that up. Not yet anyways, all right? So then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go as close as I can to the, lines, and I'm just gonna make snips, all right? For me, how I was taught, and it worked for me perfectly, it makes it easy for it to be able to be turned out, because especially when it comes to round corners, you'll see what I'm talking about. It makes it super easy for it to be turned and be able to be maneuvered into the corner, all right, into a round corner. All right, so I'm gonna snip. Try not to get too close to the stitching. Same thing over here. Sorry if it went out of frame because I'm trying to do this and see at the same time. All right. So I'm just gonna reach in here, turn it inside out. If you want, you can go ahead and use your finger to get all this stuff together. Me personally, I'm not. I like to use my my little pointer. I don't know the sewing term of it, but that's what I like to call it. And I like to use the round part of it and not this part, especially when I going into these corners. These round corners, they get that roundness to it, right? All right. So I got this turned out, right? So it looks like this right now, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this over to the iron and I'm going to flatten it down. All right, I'm going to flatten it. So I would take this over to the iron and I'm going to flatten it. I'll be right back. So I went ahead and all right. So I went ahead and took it over to the ironing board and I flattened this down, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do a nice top stitch around here. All right, I'm gonna do this, and I'll meet you back over at the table. All right, so my flap is done. I'm gonna go ahead and lay that off to the side, and I'm gonna go ahead and concentrate on my zipper. So I'm gonna go ahead. Remember, I'm gonna do this 9 inches. So I'm gonna go ahead and find 9 inches, and I am going to snip. I don't know what my rotary cutter is at, but I would typically use this as my rotary cutter. So in order for this to be a smooth process for me, but it's fine. I can do it this way. Now, if I want to, which I think I am, if I want to be secure, I'm gonna go ahead and stitch that real quick. So just in case if I open it up and forget, my zipper pull isn't going to come off, okay? Okay, so my zipper is complete, so I'm going to go ahead and put that off to the side. So I'm going to grab my strap, and I'm also going to grab my fabric strap. So I grab my webbing, and I grab my fabric. Now, what I'm going to do, this is how I like to do it. You don't have to do it this way. Find the right sides together. Okay. And what you're going to do is almost just like how we
how we make our regular strap. We do the, we fold in the middle. So matter of fact, let's do this. Yeah. We're going to take this over to the ironing board and we're going to fold this in half, right? Take this over to the ironing board and fold it in half and then iron down. Then we're going to find them. Once we know where the middle's at, then we're going to take and do the exact same thing like we normally do. Take our straps, do this, and then we're going to do that. All right. We're going to stop here. We're not going to hamburger it. Okay. We're not going to hamburger it. All right. We're just going to stop right there. So both of these should be in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right. I'll meet you back over here. Okay. So when I make a mistake, I love showing you guys the mistake I made. So typically when I go to do this, I would take my strap and I'll put it down right here. This right here shouldn't be happening. Okay. This shouldn't be happening at all. So what I'm going to do, since this is happening right here, I am going to, because that means that my 3 inches by 120, my 3 inches by 25 strap means it's too big, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take and put this strap right here on the edge of this fabric piece. Right here on the edge, right? Just one part of it, just one. So that means if you have to open the other part up so it won't get caught up. Open that part all the way up so it won't get caught into the stitching. Go ahead and pin this down. Okay. Go ahead and, pin it as you put that right there on that edge, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and top stitch. I don't have to show you how to top stitch. I believe a lot of you guys already know how to top stitch because that's what we've been doing a lot of this is top stitching. So it's almost just how I would do the regular. If we were to do this hot dog, and remember if we were to fold this over like this, we would top stitch just this, top stitch this. So you're going to do that the exact same way, but you're only going to do one side for right now. Okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so I have it, so it looks like this, all right? It looks like this. All right, this part's open. It looks just like that. Now all I'm going to do is take and do this, bring this on the inside like that, and then do the exact same thing on the other side and then line this portion up with this. Now, what I suggest to do is take this over to the ironing board and get that on the inside. Matter of fact, 1 second. I apologize. Disregard what I just said, right? Once again, hey, I'm a human. I mess up. What I'm also going to do, you can either, if you want, you can take and cut this part that we have sewed in right here. Or to save time, if you like, is go ahead and fold this portion over. And then bring this part up over here so it won't be so much bulk. But also, even if you do get a little bit of bulk, so say for instance, if I go to do this and it's like, I'm doing this, I bring it on the inside and it's like I have this part right here, this portion, it's like, it's kind of bumpy right there. What I can also do is take it over to the sewing machine, take it over to the ironing board, fold this in, and then fold that in, then fold it again until there's no more of that bumpy feeling right there. You see, there's no more bump. So all I did, I folded. I brought this over. If I don't want to cut it, I brought this over. I took this over and ironed it down. Iron this part down. Then I fold this once. And then I'll fold it again and then bring it up over right there. So I'm right there on the, right there on that edge right there. Okay. I'm right there on that edge. And then I'll just do that all the way down. I'll iron this. And as I'm doing it, I'll pin. Okay. I'll pin again. And I'll do that the whole entire way down. And we'll be right back, okay? I should say, hopefully you understood what I said. If you didn't, There's going to be plenty of other times that we're going to make this, but the next time we're going to make it the right and proper way. I'm actually going to show you how to actually 100% get the measurements for this in order for that to happen, okay? So let's go ahead and, like I said, once again, we took this piece right here that's already attached. We folded it in and we ironed it down. Then we'll take and we'll fold this base. We're folding this part basically into the middle, right? We already know what that, there we go. We know where the middle's at, so we fold that into the middle. And then when I get up over here, as you can see, I'm already out. I'm out. So all I'm going to do is take in, I can lift this up and fold this one more time underneath. Okay. And then I have it right here. And then I'll pin this down. Make sure it's right on the edge. Right there on the edge. Pin it down and then go ahead and top stitch all the way down. All right. Okay. So my strap is done. I went over to the ironing board after I was done getting this together. As you can see, I have it just the way that I want. I went over to the ironing board and then pressed this down. Okay, I pressed my strap down. Now I'm going to take my strap and I'm going to move it off to the side. Now I'm going to take my body piece. Okay, I'm going to take my body piece and I want to say I made a critical mistake. Sorry, between here to from here to here is actually 7 inches. It's not 9 inches. I made a mistake because I want my zipper to be 9 inches. I want my zipper to be 9 inches. So it's going to come over a little bit, but that's for the tabs. In order for us to close, when we close the bag, the tabs will be onto that, on there, okay? So what I want to do is take my zipper, fold it in half. I want to find the middle. I want to make a snip. All right. Made my snip. And I'm going to fold the exterior in half and do the same thing. The exterior, do the same thing, make a snip. All right. So I know where to put this at. So my zipper goes right there. If you want to, you can go ahead and pin. I'm going to pin that right there. Now, there's 1 or 2 ways you can do it. I believe the way that I showed you was taking and putting the lining putting the lining on top of here, lining this up and making sure that these two match up. Making sure that this matches up top here. And then we're going to pin this right here. Then we'll pin that right there and do the same thing. Make sure all this lines up. Now, but there is other thing you can do is you can take and sew this down and then take and bring your lining piece over and do the exact same thing over and then sew over top of that stitch if you like. It's not going to do anything with the bulk or anything of that nature. It's okay to go ahead and just sew over those stitches again. I'm not going to show you how to put this zipper on already. Because I believe everybody should know how to do this already. We've done this twice so far. If you can't remember, go back to the previous video that we've done on the smaller bag and on the larger bag, and you can actually see how to do that all over again. So the next time we come back here, we are going to be adding other pieces, and I'm going to have everything sewn together. Alrighty? All right? Okay. Okay, so I got everything sewn together. Now I'm going to take and put that off to the side. Now what I'm going to grab my flap. Then at the same time, I am going to grab this locket piece, okay? I'm going to sit down for this, all right? So I'm going to grab this lock piece, my turn key. I'm going to open this up, get this out. So separate this. Now I also, on here, they have like little tiny screws on the back of them. I have a small screwdriver, so I'm just going to go ahead and unscrew this. Now I'm going to take the bottom piece, not the top piece, right? Not this piece. I'm going to take this piece that has the holes for the screws, right? I'm going to take and put this over here, put that to the side. Make sure you don't lose the screws. Now I'm going to take and fold this in half. I'm going to find the middle. Now, me personally, I like to take it up about, have it up to here about 1 inch up my my turn lock. So I'm going to put this 1 inch up. I know where the middle's at, so I'm going to go ahead and directly put that right into the middle. All right. So the middle's going to be right about there. Then I'm going to take a pin. Now, what I want to do with the pin, I want to find the oh my gosh, what are they called? The screw holes, draw inside of them. Sometimes this does move, so it's okay. Just go ahead and redirect it. All right. Then I'm also going to take in an inside here is also draw in here. Draw a circle inside of there also. So when I lift this up, that's what you should have. You should have that right there. All right. Now, I'm going to, you can start it with a seam ripper. However you decide that you would like to do. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to fold this in half right like that. I'm going to take my scissors and then I'm going to cut inside. I'm going to cut right there, starting that right there, right? To start the hole. Now, when I go to cut this, I'm cutting in between all of the fabric. So both sides of the fabric, I'm cutting in between. Both sides, all right? And then what I'm going to do is try my best to go right around this hole, okay? On the end, so you're going to go right around this hole on the inside, and then you're going to come back. Once you cut inside of there, because it's going to be hard for me, I have to do it off camera because it's hard for me to do it while I have the camera here on me like this. So what you're going to do is cut on the inside of that, all right? And then we're going to bring it back and we're going to see something, okay? Okay, so I have my hole cut, as you can see, it's cut. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this piece right here. I'm going to stick this inside of here, right? So on the back of this piece, there's like a part right here, okay? I have not done anything with these holes just yet, okay? I haven't done anything with these holes just yet because I want to try something, right? So I'm going to come here and I'm going to put this inside and then see how that kind of fits a little bit, right? And I just want to make sure that when I put this here, I don't have, as you can see, I have fabric still showing. So what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go ahead and open up. Now, as you can see right here, right there, I'm going to go ahead and cut along on the outside of this. All right, I'm going to cut on the outside of the hole now in order for me not to have that fabric showing through, okay? I'll be right back. All right, so I went ahead and reopened that up again. So now what I'm going to do is to make sure, I'm going to take my seam ripper. Normally, I take and use something different, but I know a lot of people don't have the exact same tools that I have. So I'm going to show you how to do this if you don't have the punch that I have to make this right here. So you take and you punch your seam ripper into it and then just move it around just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. And then I like to take this part right here and carefully stick that in. All right. And then do the same thing on the other side. Put that in. I'm going to go up just a little bit, not a lot. Come down just a little bit, not a lot. And go over to the side just a little bit. and do the exact same thing. Now, if you want, say for instance, if you can't use, if you don't know how to do this, take that screwdriver, that little mini screwdriver that you had, and go ahead and see if you can punch in through that with that. Should be able to see it coming out on the other side. All right. See that come out through the other side. Go on the other side and do the exact same thing. Get that push through. All right, that went right through. Okay. Now I'm going to take this part again. I'm going to put this on the inside of here. Pushing this through. I'm going to make sure that this is through here, and at the same time make sure that the screw parts also is through here. Once again, it's hard for me to do it on camera, so I'm going to go off camera and do it, all right? So bear with me. I'll be right back. So as you're doing this, because I'm not using my typical and normal tools, so I'm kind of struggling with it a little bit, as you can see. But as you can see, I got some of this through, right? So what I'm going to do to capitalize on me getting some of this through is go ahead and put the bottom part down, grab my screws, my screwdriver, and just go ahead and screw it in. Screw this on right here. Sometimes you may lose it. Sometimes you got it right there. Now, as you go ahead and go through, you'll see there is a little bit of remnants, a little bit because of here, right here. And that's 100% fine. So, because once you begin to put this in and on, nobody's really going to see it anyways. And on top of that, as it's going in and out, it's going to start, as you can see, it's already gone. So you can't even see it anymore. It's gone now. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one. Let me see. Yep, all right. Get that one. Okay, that's screwed. Oh, get that one. That's not screwed on. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one screwed on, and I'll meet you back here, okay? Okay, so I have this done, and this is complete. All right, I have this complete. I got this where I want it and how I want it and everything, okay? So now I'm going to take my main body piece. Let's go ahead and zoom out just a little bit. I'm going to take my main body piece. Come here. Now, I could have done this when I could have found the middle of this when I didn't have this on, but I kind of like to find the middle of this when I have this on, this zipping thing, have it all zipped up and stuff. That's just me. I tend to make myself do things a little harder, but you don't have to do this. But once again, I'm going to show you more and more ways on how to do this bag anyways, all right? So we're going to always come back and redo a flap or something of that nature. So I know where the middle's at of here. Same here, I'm going to do here, find the middle. Now, however far down you want to go, you can. I'm going to go about maybe 5 inches. Put that right here. Okay, we look good right there. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take a stitch and go right along right here. Now, when you're doing this, make sure that this lining piece is out of the way. All right, so nothing's here. The exterior's out of the way. Your 1-2 linings out of the way. Go ahead and pin that down and then go ahead and take a stitch right across there, all right? All right, so now that I have that stitch there, what I'm going to do is take and fold this up, all right? I'm going to take and fold this up, and then I'm going to fold like that, all right? I'm going to make this a straight fold. Make sure it's straight. And then I'm going to take and stitch right across there, okay? I'm going to do a top stitch right across there. So, come up, fold that, and then take a stitch right across there, all right? Okay, now that I have this on, now I'm going to take and come here, put these together, and then do my stitching. You know, make sure you do the box corners. Don't touch these just yet, because we're going to put our, because we are going to put our, make sure we put our D-rings on. So we're going to do the same thing. So stitch, stitch, box corners, keep 6 inches open right there. Come up. Don't touch this once again. So we're just going to go from here on. So sew across, sew up, lift your presser foot, sew across, sew down. Boom, 6 inches, sew down, box corner, box corner, box corner, box corner, and then meet me back over here. Okay, so I have everything sewn together. Now, I did make a sewing error, and we're going to talk about it when I'm done with the bag, so the bag is going to look funky, okay? We're probably going to, so I will talk about that sewing error. But we're going to continue on with the bag. I'm not going to start over or anything. I made a mistake, and I want you guys to see the mistake that I made. It's a sewing handbags or sewing 101 mistake. Okay? Something I should have known better to do. But it's okay. It has to move on. The show must move on. All right. So remember, we're going to take our tabs now. We're going to do the hot dog folded. Put this on. Put this in, put my D-ring on, and then we're gonna go inside of. Then we're gonna do the same thing when it comes down to the corners. We're gonna put our D-ring inside. Make sure that it is however you decide that you want it, face up or anything. Also, if you want, you can go ahead and cut this. Go ahead and cut this strap right here. It's fine. 100% okay if you cut that strap. If it's a little too extra and you're fine, you don't want it to be that bulky, that extra, it's 100% okay, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and put our D-ring on D-ring face first. Remember, the D-ring goes in here face first. Matter of fact, I'll just come back and show you. Okay, so I messed up again. I wasn't supposed to cut 2 of these. Okay, I was not supposed to cut 2 of these out. I was only supposed to cut 1. Find the middle of this one. And then cut it in half. And we're going to keep it like this. Now we'll take our D-ring and put that in right there. And then we'll take it back over to the bag. I'm sorry, I just been messing up all day today. But hey, it's fine. We're learning at the same time as we do this. So let's go ahead and head back over to the bag. So I'm not back over here to the bag. I'm going to take and put this on the inside of here. And do my box corners like we did last time. But make sure that the the D-ring is up going towards the exterior fabric, okay? So that's what we want to make sure we're doing. Make sure that it's going up, basically where the zipper tab is at. If the zipper tab should be facing up. So look. So basically, if I go in here, grab the zipper the zipper is the zipper is up. So let me grab this. So the zipper is up. So this is where this should go. This should go right there. This should go right there where the zipper. So the zipper tab is up. So this is going to go up above, not up above the zipper tab, but the same way as the zipper tab. But remember, we're going to open this up. All right. I don't want that on there because I'm going to sew over that. So put that here. Put that on the inside. Then I do my box corners. Okay. And we'll be right back. All right, so I got everything sewn together. So I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead and go in here. And say, for instance, if your hand doesn't fit through like mine is it, because I kind of may have did it a little bit too small. It's okay to go ahead and rip that seam open on the bottom, because once again, this is gonna go on the inside of the bag, so nobody's really gonna see this. So I got my go ahead and push my hand through. And what I'm doing when I'm coming in here, I'm actually grabbing the pocket, grabbing the flap also, and I'm going to pull that through to make sure that gets through there also. Now, you might, as I'm pulling this through, you might be able to see my error. But like I said, I am going to talk about the error because, say, for instance, if we were making this bag for somebody, if I was making this bag for somebody or take it to an event or something of that nature, that would have been money out of my pocket because I would have had to start all over. So That's the reason why I'm not starting over, is because of, one, this isn't something I'm making for somebody, but I also want you to see the error, what happens when you do make the error and everything. So that's why I know I said in the beginning my bag was going to have a decorative part to it, but it's not this time. It's not going to have a decorative part because I made an error. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and push everything in just like normal. Make sure everything is out. All right, so go ahead and get everything great and stuff like that. But you're probably like, hey, how come we, when are we going to put this, when are we going to put this part on? And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to put this on. All right. So now once we got all this together, I'm going to go ahead and zipper this up. I'm going to zip this up. Now I'm going to take and fold that right there. All right. Now I'm going to take this, open this up. Because what I like to see is, where do I want this to be? If I want it to be here, do I want it to come further down, or do I want it to come up more? No, I want mine to fold over just like this. So now I'm going to take the prongs and push that in. And what's going to happen is going to make an indent. All right. It's going to make an indent. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I can see it. Unfortunately, you guys can't. So I'll mark it with my pen. I know exactly where it's at. Mark with my pen. All right. And then I'm going to open this back up. Pull this back out. Bring my hand in here to open this up, but I'm trying to keep my hand out the way as much as possible. Take my seam ripper right where I made those marks and go right into there. All right, now I'm going to take this, put my hand back into it, put my hand back in here. Oh. And go ahead and get that in there. Having a little difficulty, it looks like. So that means on this side right here is not open up farther enough. Need to open it up a little bit more. All right, so it's in. Now, remember when we did it the first time, right? When we did this with when we did it with the snaps, right? I would typically normally, but since I'm not selling this bag, I'm actually going to redo this bag. I'm probably going to take this bag apart and use the parts over again. Nah, matter of fact, I probably won't do that. But I would take this and cut the piece of this and then put this in, you know, the same thing like I did last time. Mark them up and then put this on. But I'm not this time, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this piece. hold this, make sure that this stays in. Put my hand back into here. Ooh, it's a little hard. Okay. All right, got it. And then I'm going to go ahead and close that up. And I'll be right back. Now, then once that's done, go ahead and pull the flap over, push everything back in, and then we'll put the flap over, and then you see if you like it right there. But if you don't, oh well, that's where it's going to stay. There we go. So we have it on. Like I said, my bag looks wonky. There's a reason for it. And I'm going to explain that when the video is over and done with. So I'm going to set this off to the side. I'm going to grab my strap. And I'm also going to grab my my slider. I'm going to take and bring that on the inside. Bring that here. bring it back to here, right? And bring this down. And then I'm going to take, however far you want to go up, you're going to sew. Shit. All right, so here's the bag. It has the turn key on it and things of that nature. Like I said, my bag looks wonky, and there's a reason behind my bag looking wonky, okay? So I'm going to talk about that later. So we're going to put that off to the side. Now I'm going to take my strap and my buckle. So I'm going to take my buckle piece. See, this is the back side of it. This is the front side of it, okay? I'm going to take and put this right here, put this up top, up above, then come in and then bring that down below right there, okay? And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the sewing machine. However far, me personally, I like to do it about, I think that's what, about 2 inches. All right, so this right here is about 2 inches right here. And I'm going to take and put you can either just do a straight stitch across back and forth a couple times, or you could, for extra strength, you can do a box, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just for the sake of the video and stuff, I'm going to go ahead and put a straight stitch, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I have this on. Now I'm going to take this and lay this flat, and I'm going to take my bottom piece of this, my clamps, come here, make sure this isn't twisted, and you can kind of tell it's not going to be twisted. I'm going to take and put this on, and I'm going to slide this down. Slide that down to about right there. Now I'm going to take this and then come up and bring this back. Basically, how I did it this way, I'm going to do it the opposite way now. And do that just like that. And then what that does, that hides that raw edge that's right there. And then I'm going to come back down in here. It's kind of hard to do it on camera because I can't. Trying to look through the camera lens is a little hard. All right, there we go. Bring that up here. See, now that's how that's going to look when that's finished. Now I'm going to take and bring this here. Now, when I get here, I like to go up, come here. It's gonna be a little bit of stuff to go through a little bit. So fold this here and then fold that right there. I'm not going to, I know I said I was going to use my rivets, but I'm not going to use my rivets given the fact that I did this method when it comes to the strap. There's another method I like to do that it doesn't really require rivets, but it'll be a lot easier. It'll be a lot easier for me to do it with the rivet. So then I'm going to go to the sewing machine and top stitch right across there, and I'll be right back. Well, should say the next time we talk, we are going to be face to face.
Okay, and we are finished. So compared to last week's bag, the smaller one, you can see the difference in it. You can see the big difference, right? There's a difference. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit taller, I should say, just by a little bit. This bag's a little bit wider. But at the same time, this bag can fit a little bit more into it than what this one can. So the reason why I kept saying I made a mistake. The mistake that I made when making this bag, it's a sewing error 101. I believe it's a sewing error 101, I should say. When I put these on, and I hope you guys didn't make the same mistake. So when I did my lining piece and put it on the zipper, instead of me on the fabric saying, like, putting an arrow, meaning like this side up on my on my interfacing, letting me know that, hey, this side is the top side. When I did it on the bag, when I did it and I put it in the zipper, I put one of the sides, the bottom, on top of the zipper. So that's why my bag looks the way that it looks. It's the way that it's the reason why it's so wonky and it looks this way, and the reason why I'm not trying to put it together to try to sell it now is because I messed up, right? So let's just say if I sold this bag, let's say for $45, $50, and with the math, if I can remember, I think the bag itself, to make the bag, costs like 10, 15 bucks around there. I forget the numbers because I haven't sold this bag in a while. So I would have been cutting into my profit by having to redo this bag all over again, because this bag really honestly takes about anywhere from it takes like 20 minutes to make. Takes me 20 minutes to make, I should say. But since I made that I made that mistake, that would have been a very costly mistake to where I would have cut into my profit. So that's one of the things when you are, I should have talked about this before, when you have something like this where it's almost, when they almost look alike, the sides almost look alike, what you want to do is make sure that when you cut your pattern out, when you cut this on the fabric and your exterior, and if you're going to interface them, and if you don't have to interface it like I don't have to with my lining in this one, make sure you put an arrow saying to yourself, hey, this side is up. So this should be up and this should be bottom. You don't have to put the bottom, just put an arrow going up, and just remember that. That's sewing. I believe it's sewing 101 when you're making something. And it was a costly mistake. It would have cost me what, $30, $15, and then remaking it again. So it would have cost me like $30. So that's one thing you want to do, is make sure that you take a look and you take your time when making the pieces. All right? Take your time when making the pieces, especially for the very first time or even in between, but make sure you're marking, okay? Make sure you're marking. Make sure you know which piece is what. If it goes up, if it goes down, if this is a side panel, if this is a side pocket or a strap. It's almost like when we did the one bag, where we did the two-tone bag. I was able on the faux leather, I put, strap, bottom. I did all of that stuff, but I didn't do it on this one. So it was a mistake I made. I'm glad that you guys actually got to see the mistake. Also know the cost of the mistake, that it would cost you when making a mistake like that, especially when you're trying to start a business or something of that nature, okay? So, as always, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with a friend, and as always, thank you for tuning in to PQF Academy.